Forum in Montreal, the Labatt Canada Cup. Tonight, Canada and Sweden.
Welcome back to the Forum in Montreal with Ron Roosh. I'm Dan Kelly. Sweden and Canada have met 5 times previously in Canada Cup play, and Ron, Canada's dominated.
Well, Canada has had a good record against Sweden, but Sweden, meanwhile, of course, was the Cinderella story at the last Canada Cup. It was not the Soviet Union. It was not Czechoslovakia who made the playoff round, but Sweden. Canada then took them out in 2 straight games. With that second game, Canada had a big lead and then blew it and won the game by only a goal. So they can be very, very tough as we look at Mats Naslund, who, of course, is playing his winter home, I guess, in Montreal right now. He lives in nearby Kirkland, has a house out there. He's already moved his family in and is, of course, very much involved once again with the Canada Cup.
Mats Naslund of the Canadians, and you look at Mike Keenan behind Team Canada's bench. His team undefeated, but a lot of people don't feel they have reached their full potential in this tournament. The guy that came on in the latter part of the game against the United States, I mentioned Mario Lemieux. What a pass Wayne Gretzky gave him for what proved to be the game winner. Now to the ice surface here at the Forum and the pregame ceremonies.
Mesdames et messieurs, voici maintenant les segments débutants pour le match de ce soir. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the lineups for tonight's game. Pour l'équipe de la Suède, for Team Sweden, dans les filets in the nets, le numéro 1, number 1, Peter Lindmark. À la défense, en défense, le numéro 2, number 2, Anders Eldebrink. Le numéro 3, number 3, Tommy Abelin. Au centre, at center, le numéro 16, number 16, Bent Gustafsson. À l'aile droite, at right wing, le numéro 24, number 24, Magnus Ruppi. À l'aile gauche, at left wing, le numéro 26, number 26. L'entraîneur-chef, the head coach, Mr. Tommy Sandelin. L'entraîneur adjoint, the assistant coach, Mr. Kurt Lindstrom. Et maintenant, pour l'équipe Canada. And now for Team Canada. Dans les filets, in the nets, le numéro 31, number 31, Grant Fuhr. À la défense, en défense, le numéro 2, number 2, Doug Crossman. Et le numéro 7, number 7, Raymond Bourque. À l'aile gauche, at left wing, le numéro 16, number 16, Michel Goulet. À l'aile droite, at right wing, le numéro 21, number 21, Brent Sutter. Au centre, at center, le numéro 99, number 99, Wayne Gretzky. L'entraîneur-chef, the head coach, Mr. Mike Keenan. His entraîneur adjoint, the assistant coaches, Monsieur Jean Perron, John Muffler, et Tom Watt. Comme c'est la coutume dans le hockey international, j'inviterai les 2 capitaines pour un échange de cadeaux au nom des 2 équipes. I would like to invite the 2 teams' captain, as it is the custom in international hockey, to exchange gifts on behalf of their teams. Et maintenant, nous aimerions vous présenter les membres qui viendront faire la mise au jeu officielle du match de ce soir. And now, introducing the members of the official party for tonight's ceremonial face-off. Canadian Tire is a proud supporter of sports for people of all ages and communities across Canada. From the Canadian Amateur Hockey Association to the Calgary 1988 Olympic Winter Games, la compagnie Canadian Tire a toujours été derrière le sport au Canada et ce à tous les âges, en partant du hockey amateur jusqu'aux Olympiques de 1988 à Calgary. Représentant le hockey mineur de notre région de Ville-Saint-Laurent, M. Dominique Cartier. Représentant le monde de l'Olympisme, un grand Québécois qui nous fait honneur avec l'équipe olympique de ski de fond. Representing the Olympic world, a great Quebecer representing the cross-country ski team for the Olympics, Monsieur Pierre Harvey. Représentant la compagnie Canadian Tire, representing Canadian Tire Company, Monsieur Jean-Guy Roy. Représentant le commanditaire de la Coupe Labatt, Canada Cup ou Coupe Canada Labatt, Monsieur Gilles Lauzon, gérant district de la Brasserie Labatt du Québec Limité. Les deux capitaines, s'il vous plaît, pour la mise au jeu. The two captains for the face-off. Maintenant, mesdames, mesdemoiselles, messieurs, voulez-vous, s'il vous plaît, vous lever et vous joindre à Madame Omega Medina, qui vous interprétera les hymnes nationaux des deux pays en présence. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of the national anthems of Sweden and Canada, sung by Miss Omega Medina.
This is the Labatt Canada Cup on. Back live at the Forum in Montreal with Ron Roush. I'm Dan Kelly. There you see Team Canada's lineup and the man they'll be opposing tonight, goaltender Peter Lindmark, and he's a good one, Ron.
Well, he's been a terrific story in World Tournament play. Peter Lindmark, who has a shutout against Czechoslovakia in this tournament, shut out Canada, as a matter of fact, at the World Championship last year. Larry Murphy not dressed for Canada tonight. He's an extra man. Kevin Dineen has an ankle injury, so he is out. Kelly Rudy is the third goaltender tonight. The backup for Grant Fuhr will be Ron Hextall.
Ron Fuhr playing, or Grant Fuhr playing spectacularly in goal for Canada. And there you see the Swedish lineup that he will be facing in this game tonight.
Two young players, Peter Eriksson and Lars Carlson, not dressed. Of course, Peter Lindmark in goal.
And Grant Fuhr from the Edmonton Oilers, 3 games in the Canada Cup, a 2.33 goals against mark. And we're underway as the referee again is from Finland, Kari Gustav Kaisala. He drops the puck. Canada breaking down 2-on-1. Gretzky trying to get it to Brent Sutter, and a gem of a defensive play made at the Swedish defense by Anders Eldebrink, a former National Hockey Leaguer. Now Eldebrink firing it in. Fuhr sets it up, and Doug Crossman for Canada beating it out to Michel Goulet. Canada with a new line combination tonight, and here you see an example. Gretzky out centering Sutter, and this man Goulet. Goulet to Gretzky. He's checked, and Doug Crossman, number 2, who's on defense with Bork, fires it to the Swedish end of the rink. Thomas Johnson getting it back out into center ice area, and it's dumped in by Sundstrom for Sweden. Ray Bork for Canada, controlling it. And Canada break to center. Picked up by the trailer on the play and fired in, namely James Patrick. Now Canada trying to center it. Behind the net to Mike Gartner. Gartner trying to get it in front, does to Messier. Here's Mark Messier to Norman Rochefort. His shot blocked. Now Anderson, Gwen Anderson pulled down on the play, and Sweden will get a penalty here as he got tied up with Thomas Jansson, and a penalty coming up to Jansson. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Thomas Jansson of the New York Islanders goes off. A 2-minute penalty up against the boards for hooking. Gustav Kaisla in on the checking up against the boards on Glenn Anderson, and he just hauled his man down. Gustav Kaisla, of course, the official who handled a very tough game the other night in Hamilton, the United States and Canada, with varying reviews depending on who you talk to.
He's from Finland. The linesmen tonight are Gord Brosiker and Kevin Collins of the United States, both NHL officials. Canada on the power play as Bork feeds Paul Coffey. Coffey to Gretzky, tipped in, and it's shot back out by number 27, Mikhail Telvin of Boston Bruins. Now Mario Lemieux in the clear. And a good save by Lindmark as he dragged that right leg behind him and just got a pace of it. Paul Coffey on Team Canada's power play. Coffey to Bork. Bork leaves for Gretzky. Shoots, he's got it! Wayne Gretzky!
So much nicer to play this game with a lead. And here is Gretzky, and what a shot. Picked the far side, leaning into it. Used the partial screen there on Mikhail Telvin of the Boston Bruins. He's number 27. Not much that Lindmark could do on that shot. Glove side. We've got a good view of it. Nice little tip over to Gretzky. Right inside the post. We're used to seeing a lot of that.
Gretzky's first goal of this Canada Cup tournament. 1:55 the time. Canada's 4th power play goal of the tournament as that starts to come to life. And Canada leads 1-0. Here's Coffey feeding Howard Chuck. Missed him with it. And it's shot back in by Tommy Elbeling for Sweden. Third out, and Dale Howard Chuck has it. Howard Chuck to Claude Lemieux. Couldn't get to it. And Anderson has it, number 12, Mikhail Anderson. Passing it out on the left wing side for Pettersson. He's poke checked by Coffey. Pettersson, number 21, trying to outrace Doug Gilmour. Gilmore, number 28 for Canada, to Claude Lemieux. Lemieux, number 32, a tough battler on the boards to Gilmore. Out in front, backhander by Howard Chuck. Lindmark, a big save. And a stoppage in play. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Soviets leading the United States. Sorry, Dan. Soviets leading the United States 2-0 in that game in Hartford. And, of course, here's the score, 1-0.
And that scoring play, Gretzky from Bourque and Coffey. 1:55 the time on a power play. Sweden from the faceoff with Thomas Rundqvist clearing it out on right wing. Now Gustafsson getting it ahead to number 7, Samuelsson. Tommy Samuelsson flips it in. Rupe digs in to get it, but Mario Lemieux trying to clear it. Held in by Janssen. Canada get it again, and Mario Lemieux breaking out, overskated it. Gustafsson takes over, number 16. Gustafsson from the Washington Capitals dropping it back to Tommy Samuelsson. Now cleared into center ice by Sweden. Picked up on the fly by Gustafsson. Trying to center it, and James Patrick tries to clear it. He failed, but Rick Tocchet covering up, flips it into center ice. Propp dropping it back to Rochefort. Back to Propp. Off the boards. Telvin holding it in. Kelvin centers, shot right on by Mats Naslund, and Fuhr made the glove save and just smothered it.
And the net went off its moorings at the same time. I was talking to Mike Keenan about his goaltending in this tournament, and one thing he says is simply, I can't take Fuhr out of the net. He's playing too well. He's got his own goaltender, Grant Fuhr. He's got his own goaltender, of course, in Ron Hextall. Hextall just hasn't had a chance. This guy just keeps making miraculous stores. There's Telbane. They plays for the Boston Bruins. His record of time, one of 2 Swedes with Boston, making his second appearance in the Canada Cup.
Rundqvist winning a faceoff, but Goulet gets it and cleared it for Canada. And Telvin, number 27, back after it, feeding it into center ice to Rundqvist. He gets it into the zone. Knocked down, and Crossman cleared it out. Picked up there by Rundqvist, number 9. Got it right onto Ray Bourque's stick. Canada trying to move it out of there as they feed it now to Brent Sutter, number 21. Sutter couldn't get around Telvin. Telvin into center ice for Kent Nilsson. Nilsson of the Edmonton Oilers for that Minnesota and Calgary. Over to Telvin. Telvin, number 27, trying to clear it in, and Goulet gets it for Canada to Bourque. Over to Crossman. Up the middle to Goulet. Firing it in is Michel Goulet. And back to get it is Bergquist. He couldn't clear it. Canada stealing it, but covering up is Albeline, the defenseman, number 3. Out to Kent Nilsson. Nilsson ahead at center for Rundqvist. He drops it back to Rundqvist. And that shot was passed more than anything else. It went wide of the man in front of the net and the goaltender and the goal crease. Here's Bergquist moving in, number 18. Now it's Goulet. Couldn't get it out. Drop back on the point. Albeline shoots wide by a couple of feet, and here's Mike Gartner. Gartner to Gretzky. Back to Gartner, but knocked away by Eldebrink, number 2. And Sweden start back. Håkan Södergren got the center, just dumped it in. Shot back out by Canada. Now Eldebrink, number 2. He's jolted by a check. And then Bergquist clears it in, but it's offside at Canada's blue line. Canada leading 1-0 on a goal by Gretzky.
Score from out of town, and when we say out of town, we mean Hartford, as we look there at Anders Eldebrink, former Vancouver Canuck, played a little bit with the Quebec Nordiques as well, but it's 2-0. End of the first period, the Soviets leading the United States. Kamensky and Makarov have scored for the Soviet Union. We'll try to bring you highlights of that first period during our first intermission with Dan Matheson.
Now a face-off at Team Canada's blue line. Anderson taking the draw. He's out there with Messier and Gartner as Canada's forward line. Rochefort and Patrick on defense. Here's Rochefort. Feeding it off to Glenn Anderson. Shooting it into center ice and hustling back after it is Samuelsson. That's Messier in aggressively to Glenn Anderson. Centered. Misses Messier, and Patrick couldn't hold it in. And Fuhr has to come away out to clear it into center ice. To Messier. Lead pass for Gartner. Knocked away by the goaltender Lindmark. Now here's Messier. Drops. Gartner just wide. Here's Glenn Anderson, taken out of the play by Tommy Samuelson. Anderson trying to center. Lindmark knocked that away. Here's Messier. Does get it in front. Anderson a swipe at it, and then it's knocked away by Sweden. Cleared outside the line. Rochefort carried back in offside. 1-0 in favor of Canada. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Well, there's Lindmark, who probably had as close a call as he's going to get. Going the wrong way a little bit, and Gartner getting it in front just one times it. And just missed. Looking for that pass across ice.
Here's Bourque firing it in. And the goaltender Lindmark trying to clear it out, and does on left wing for Rupe, number 24. Rupe trying to flip it in front to Gustafsson, knocked away and shot into center ice. Tocchet tied up by Naslund, and now Telvin trying to clear it, stolen by Mario Lemieux. He couldn't control it, and now Gustafsson trying to get it out of there. Here's Lemieux getting it back to the net. Centered out in front for Kropp, but just tipped away by Telvin at the last second. And here is Telvin, number 27. Into center ice for the pass to Rupe. Magnus Rupe, number 24. Ticketed for the Philadelphia Flyers when training camp begins. And he's knocked a lick by Mario Lemieux. And then sat on top of the puck. And will get a stoppage in play.
Well, Mario Lemieux has picked up just where he left off in the last game, and where he left off in the last game was scoring his third goal of the night. So Mario Lemieux has really got his game together now. And Magnus Rupe is a kind of a tough guy. It's a typical Philadelphia Flyer, not the fighting type Philadelphia Flyer, but the type of guy who really likes the checking. That was down at the other end of the ice. You might look at the referee. He waved it off right away. What he's saying, I guess, is no penalty. He didn't give one, that's for sure.
Here's Canada with a line of Gretzky, Goulet, and Brent Sutter, but carrying in and quickly losing it was Peter Sundstrom. Back comes Brent Sutter. Long shot, wide of the target. Lindmark clears it. Gretzky trying to kick it along the boards for Sutter. Sutter gets it loose, but it comes to Sundstrom. He couldn't get it out. Now again, Sweden trying to clear it. Eldebrink does get it out of the zone, and it's picked up by number 3, Albeline. Albeline gets it into the corner. Coffey loses to Albeline. Now Sundstrom centered. Big save, Pure on the drive by Eldebrink from the slot. Another shot by Eldebrink. Another save by Pure. This time a glove save, and he held on to it.
Oh, what a great save. What a terrific save on the initial one, first of all. Just a pad save. Eldebrink in the slot, pinching in. Here it comes now on that backhand pass out in front by Sundstrom. What a save. Now it bounces loose. Eldebrink is going to corral it once again, and he got a second shot away. And Pure hung on. This is what we were talking about. Here comes the first shot. No, that's the second one. That was gloved by Pure. And Eldebrink kind of turning around saying, what do I have to do with this guy?
Now Anders Carlson, number 20, on a face-off with Doug Gilmour. No one really wins it, and finally Rochefort comes up with it. Back comes Canada. To Dale Hawerchuk, number 10, and it's offside as Canada's right winger on the play jumped in ahead of the play. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. Sweden with a forward line of Carlson at center, Bergqvist on right wing, and Sudergren on left wing. Canada remaining with their forward line of Gilmour, Hawerchuk, and Claude Lemieux. Canada win the draw, and Rochefort has it there. Over onto right wing for Patrick, who dumps it in. Canada leading 1-0. Back to get it for Sweden is Samuelson. Trying to fire it out. Patrick held it in. Knocked down. Canada getting it again. Hawerchuk flipping it across to Patrick. Shoots it. Patrick had the goaltender beaten and hit the post. Canada holding it in. Claude Lemieux still with the puck behind the net to Gilmour. Gilmour back to Lemieux. Back to Gilmour. Gilmour trying to get it in front. Now Lemieux helps out. He's taken out of the play. Tying him up is Thomas Johnson. Puck comes loose on the other side, and Sudergren, number 22, trying to clear it. Held in by Patrick, who hit the post earlier. Now Samuelson firing it out on the wing. And here comes number 18, Bergqvist to center. Fires in for Johnson, who shot it wide. Big pile up back of the net, and it winds up underneath the Team Canada player Rochefort, and we get a stoppage in play. James Patrick just about made it 2-0 Canada.
Oh, what a blast. And he got it in a perfect spot, moving in on the puck, and you can really lean into a shot like that. And surely Peter Lindmark didn't have any chance to react on it at all. Here he comes. Look at the path he's got. A terrific view of this one from our truck. And right off the post, you hear it ring. Another scoring chance for Canada. They continue to lead this one 1-0 on Gretzky's goal on a power play at 1:55.
11-12 left here in the first period. Sweden winning a faceoff. Peter Anderson fires it around. Now Telvin at the other point, trying to hold it in, but Canada break it up. Anderson gets help from Telvin. They do hold it in, and Bourque beats Messier. Number 11, Mark Messier. Up the middle for Anderson. When Anderson pokes it in, Bourque picks it up. Has Gartner in front, drops it to Messier. Big save, Lindmark on Gartner after a beautiful passing play. Canada again with Messier. Centered. Crossman took a swipe at it. Still loose, and Gartner couldn't get it, and then it's Pettersson clearing it away for Sweden. Well, there's the Team Canada we expected, gentlemen.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And now it's starting to come together for Canada. They're getting a little used to each other. We see this every Canada Cup. What a wonderful chance Messier gave Gartner in front of the net. We also told you that Lindmark is a terrific goaltender. He could be behind 3 or 4-0 in this game. Look at this little backhand pass. Gartner one-timing it again, and Lindmark was right across in front to make the save. So we've gone through the midway point of the game. Believe it or not, the shots on goal are only 5-3 favor Team Canada, but the 5 have been excellent scoring chances.
This program is protected by copyright. Any use of this telecast without permission is prohibited. Here's Canada from the face-off, but it's cleared away by Albeline. Tommy Albeline, number 3. In across the line, they go offside as Magnus Rupe took a hit by Tocchet after the whistle. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Well, I mentioned the 5 shots that Team Canada has had. Lemieux was in alone just before Gretzky scored. Howard-Chuck on a backhand. There was a great chance for Patrick. That wasn't a shot on goal. Hit the post, and then Messier to Gartner. So 4 of those 5 shots have been real testers so far.
Here's Eldebrink moving it into Naslund, trying to center back to Eldebrink, but Tocchet knocks it away. Now digging in on the boards is Magnus Rupe. Center, they score! Gustafsson, number 16, from the slot. Ben Gustafsson, and this game is tied 1-1.
Well, a goaltender can keep you in a game, and I would have to say that that is exactly the story as far as Lindmark is concerned. Nice play here by Rupe from the corner, and Gustafsson pitching in from the blue line. He was playing a high position, comes in, the defense got crossed up, chasing inside the zone, and he had the clear path and a clean shot from a tough spot to be trying to block it for Grant Fuhr. Bengt Gustafsson, who's going back to the Washington Capitals. They sorely missed him when he was back in Sweden playing last year.
Now 1-0 for, or 1-1 I should say, as back comes Sundstrom. Couldn't get around the defense, and Canada comes back. Brian Propp into Lemieux, but back checking was Johnson on the play. And here comes Sweden with Rundqvist flipping it in. Kent Nielsen behind the net to Rundqvist. He missed it. Sundstrom in to get it. Tocchet takes him out of the play. And Tocchet comes back with Lemieux and Propp. Here's a new line combination for Canada. And they go offside. Lemieux is centering Tocchet and Propp in this game tonight. Gustafsson from Rupe at 10:01, the scoring play. And it's tied at 1.
Now Brian Propp going off the ice. There you see Anders Eldebrink. We've got a 1-1 tie here at the Montreal Forum. We'll get another chance to check that goal out. Watch the defense on this one. They got caught, I think, a little bit chasing in here. As puck came loose, they had that man in, and he drew the defenseman with him as Crossman came across, and that cleared the path out, kind of just cleared the way. And you don't do that with a player of the quality of Gustafsson. He put it in.
Canada with a forward line of Gretzky, Sutter, and Goulet. Here's Brent Sutter to Goulet. Goulet trying to leave it for the trailer copy on the play. Brent Sutter getting it. Cross ice to Goulet. Into Gretzky. Gretzky trying to poke it in front. Telvin knocks it aside. And Bergquist then clears it out of there for Sweden. And going back to get it for Canada is Craig Hartsburg. And as he touches it, icing called against Sweden.
Craig Hartsburg last spring was named the outstanding defenseman of the World Hockey Championship, which is an accomplishment in his own right over in Europe. He really plays well on the big ice surfaces. And, you know, when you think that he has beaten out the likes of Fetisov, one of the top players in the world, to be named the top defenseman. It's not part of an all-star team. The International Ice Hockey Federation directive names 3 all-stars: top goaltender, top defenseman, top forward. And in the defenseman category, there he is, Craig Hartsburg.
He's from the Minnesota North Stars. Face-off, Gretzky. On this face-off, deep in Sweden's end against Anderson, who's tossed out of there, and now Tom Eklund will step in, number 4, and take the draw. Eklund against Gretzky. 8:50 left in the period. 1-1, Sweden and Canada. Gretzky wins the draw. Eklund ties him up and steals it. And Eklund feeds it out for Albeline, number 3. Leaving it there for Anderson. Centered. Sutter knocks it away. Mikael Anderson dropping it back in front. Pettersson scores! Number 21, Lars Gunnar Pettersson, left alone in the slot. And Sweden has the lead.
Well, the defense gambling a little bit inside their zone, I think. Let's take a look at it now as the puck is just whipped in there, and there was nobody covering Pettersson at all. So a quickly unfolding play with the defense, I think, starting to think offense rather than defense with the puck still inside their own zone. But that's twice now where we've seen a Swedish player all alone in front of Grant Fuhr. So suddenly, as Canada had really put the pressure on Lindmark and he stood up to it, all of a sudden down to the other end, a couple of defensive errors. And there is number 15 for Sweden, Kent Nielsen, just before the goal, heading into the dressing room. We don't know what happened to him. We'll just try and get a report for you down in that area, of course. There's Dan Matheson, and Dan probably better access to the area.
Now Canada with a line of Gilmore, Claude Lemieux, and Howard Chuck. Canada behind in this game now is Bourque. Goes back in his own zone. Over to Crossman, back to Bourque. Bourque trying to work it out of there to Gilmore. Gilmore got it to center, but it's shot back in by Thomas Janssen. And it's Ray Bourque back to pick it up. Bourque being forechecked hard on the play by Sundstrom, number 17. That's Peter Sundstrom, former Ranger who's signed on as a free agent with Washington. Out of Claude Lemieux, but Sundstrom intercepts to Janssen. Trying to drop it back, does. Gilmore there to break it up. Puck still loose, and the shot by Rundqvist is blocked to the defense and cleared away. Samuelsson back to get it. Samuelsson leaving it for Thomas Janssen. Off the boards, misses Sundstrom. And here's Hawerchuk feeding it in, but Messier went in ahead of the play offside. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. Now look at Team Canada's bench. They may be a little bit in shock after a good start. They've fallen behind on back-to-back goals by Gustafsson and Pettersson. 2-1 Sweden. 7:35 left here in the first period. James Patrick firing it in. And now back of the play on the far side. An altercation. Gartner had become mixed up with Mikael or Magnus Rupe. And they're both going to get penalties.
Well, James Patrick, who rang one off the post just a while ago, the New York Ranger youngster who's played a great deal of World Tournament hockey, including the Olympics, of course, in 1984 for Team Canada, Sarajevo. Here it is. Now watch Patrick. Oh, there's Gartner there now. Gartner and Rupe, and there's a little bit of a stick. And I guess somewhere along the line to start all that, there might have been a stick also from Rupe. Whatever, the two of them are gone.
High sticking, I believe, the call. Each team a man short. Messier getting ready on a face-off against Ben Gustafsson, number 16. Bourque coming up with it. Bourque sliding it into the corner for Messier. He's taken out now when Anderson gets free. Back to Bourque. Ray Bourque with a shot. That's blocked. And Telvin feeds it into center ice, and here comes Mats Naslund. Naslund trying to slide it in front, but Bourque is there to clear it away. Here's Messier. Has Anderson with him. Messier gives it to the trailer. Crossman shot. Deflected by Anderson over top of the net. Now Glenn Anderson battling back of the goal. Gets help from Messier. Back to Crossman. Crossman's shot is blocked. Bounces to center. Naslund racing after it, and Crossman takes a hit from Naslund and has to quickly give it to Bourque. Raymond Bourque into the Swedish end of the rink, but it's quickly shot back up. Here's Craig Hartsburg. Fires it in. Going back to get it is Peter Anderson to Naslund. Coffey knocks it down at center for Canada. Coffey into Gretzky. Gretzky shoots one. Kicked away by Lindmark, and he cleared it quickly, so there was no rebound for the Canadian player. He kicked it well out, is what I mean. Here's Naslund trying to maneuver out of the Swedish end of the rink. Flips it to center, and Hartsburg. Now Craig Hartsburg circling his own goal. Passing it to Mario Lemieux. Lemieux in across the line. Shoots wide, 6 inches. That long reach of Lemieux paid big dividends there, but he missed the net. Here's Coffey over to Craig Hartsburg. Hartsburg to Lemieux. He was taken out of the play. They ruled the play was onside. Anders Carlson now firing it into center ice, and circling with it is Södergren, number 22. Off the boards to Eldebrink. Shot to center. Hartsburg drops it to Coffey. Team's back at full strength. Coffey up the middle to Gretzky. Breaking in. Gretzky shoots. Glove save. Lindmark. A rocket by Gretzky and a great glove save by Peter Lindmark.
The Labatt Player of the Game for Canada will receive a set of 10 Olympic coins, compliments of Canadian Tire, an official supplier to the Calgary 1988 Olympic Winter Games, and a few dreams along the way. Canadian Tire.
What a big save Lindmark just made on Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky scored in a similar play, but not this time.
Oh, what a shot, too. Gretzky just knows how to pick those corners, but he was out there. The one thing about Lindmark is he'll come out. He'll come out at the times it's necessary to come out. His coach says he's got great anticipation, and he certainly has that.
Another good save by Lindmark. Now Gilmore digging in the corner, trying to get it to Brian Propp. Back to Gilmore. Gilmore out in front, put it right through the goal crease. Rochefort holding it into Propp. Propp trying to get it free, does, gets it in front. Back to Tocchet. Tocchet to Gilmore, couldn't get a stick on it. Now a backhander by Propp wide of the net. Here's Tocchet trying to clear it around, and Sweden intercepted. It's shot out of there by Anderson, and then play is called. And they're going to call it because of closing the hand on the puck. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
One thing you'll notice about the European style officiating, they'll call that closing your hand on the puck very quickly. The NHL, that would have been let go. But the referee, Gustav Keisler, as they do all throughout Europe, called it very quickly and halted play.
And the way the NHL in preseason are going to allow hand passing as an experiment. That'll be interesting.
Maybe they got it from arena football.
Here's Bourque feeding it into center ice. Shot in by Gartner. Cleared right back out by Sweden. And Crossman, number 2, gives it to Raymond Bourque. Bourque being forechecked hard by Rupe. Now back comes Canada. Gartner flipped it in, but it's quickly cleared right back out. Bourque has it there. Rupe steals it. Moving in with Naslund. Off his stick. That's Naslund in the corner. Crossman cleared it away. Now Rupe. Round on the boards. Gustafsson couldn't get the pass. Canada trying to work it out on left wing with Telvin pinching in against the boards and holding it for a faceoff. That was quite a hand that Mats Naslund had in the pregame introductions, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. Standing ovation for what is, of course, his home team, and he's as popular as any Montreal Canadian right now. You see little Mats heading for the bench. He also laid a pretty heavy check on Doug Crossman. He doesn't back down at all. We like to call him a little guy, but he's very strong, and he's built very much like a fire plug, and he can lay it on when he puts his mind to it. And of course, he's got the speed that when he does, I think you come off the boards feeling it.
Here's a chance as it's cleared in by Sundstrom, number 17 for Sweden. Over there digging on the boards is Eklund, number 4. He's tied up by Coffey. In comes Sundstrom. Now it comes back on the point to Albeline. To the other point, Eldebrecht high and wide with a shot. And back comes Canada's Mario Lemieux to Claude Lemieux. He gets decked in the play, and he's shaken up and down on the ice. He was injured in a collision with Eldebrecht. I'm not sure if Keisel is pointing to a penalty to Eldebrecht or not. I think he is.
He didn't call it initially, but I think he's calling it after the fact here, which is the reason why he's getting a pretty good argument right now from Bengt Gustafsson. Eldebrecht is going off, and Claude Lemieux, I'm talking to him in the dressing room this morning, and I says, how'd you come out of the U.S. game? He says, oh, they loosened another tooth of mine. He says, I'm not going to have many left before my career's done, and looks like he may have just lost another tooth right there, but he was just corralled. Took the linesman with him. That's not the referee who was in on all of that. And yeah, he's loosened another tooth. I've never seen a player seemingly take as much punishment as Claude Lemieux does in the game. They just love to nail him anytime he's on the ice, including his teammates at times.
Well, we saw a few examples of that the other night when they played Team USA.
Both Chris Chelios and Chris Nyland took a good reef at him. Now he's upset. Got the penalty. Claude should be happy about that. Could have been worse.
Elbowing, 16:41 the time. Canada with their earlier goal in this game on the power play. Now 4 goals in the tournament by the power play route. Lemieux, Messier, and Gretzky up front. Bourque and Coffey the point men, but here's Sweden and Peter Sundstrom clearing it out of there. Coffey back to give it to Bourque. Back to Paul Coffey. Coffey leaving it for Gretzky to Bourque. Back in, but intercepting it at the fence and breaking away was Thomas Johnson. He's checked, and back comes Canada. Gretzky, 3-on-1 break. To Lemieux, shoots it. Mario Lemieux! Ron, they were both there, Messier and Lemieux, but I think it was Lemieux that put it in.
You want to see a very strong man, watch Lemieux, because he was checked on the play. I don't understand why Gretzky made that play. Now Lemieux is completely tied up, and still, as his stick is hooked, he's still got a shot away. Is reaching across him with Rundqvist, and he just, in effect, powered the way. Watch it now. Now where'd the puck go? Go off his skate? May have, or his leg, but I thought he got his stick on it. Maybe we'll get a better view of it here. But Rundqvist got him checked. That's well hidden there. In any case, we've got a 2-2 hockey game. Both of Canada's goals on the power play. And Mario Lemieux has 4 in a little less than 4 periods now.
Mario Lemieux with a power play goal to tie this game at 2.
Assisted by number 99, Wayne Gretzky.
Gretzky gets an assist.
Number 77,
Pass is Paul Coffey. 2-2 the score. Here's Eklund for Sweden. Clears Rochefort now to Tocchet. And Tocchet flips it in for Canada. Delvin back to get it. Flipped it on the boards. Eklund takes over there. Eklund into center ice with a pass to Mikael Anderson. Anderson flipping it through. Pettersson had it go off his skate. And Fuhr quickly cleared it. Now Canada breaking out. Sutter passing it to Prop. Tocchet into forecheck. Sutter follows up on the other side. Into Tocchet. Back to Bourque. Fires wide of the net. Brent Sutter. Couldn't get it in front, and Anderson cleared it. Crossman held it in. Shot deflected. Lindmark had to make a quick move, and I think it hit him in the face mask. Telvin, number 27 for Sweden. Just fires it all the way down the ice. Crossman back to touch it, and that's icing against Sweden. 1:34 left in the period. And it's Canada 2, Sweden 2.
Brent Sutter, his brother, was traded today. Dwayne moved, but Brent remains a New York Islander. He's played on a couple of Stanley Cup winners. And of course, course, was such a monumental figure on a line with Bossy and Tonelli in the 1984 Canada Cup. Now 1:34 left in the period, a 2-2 tie.
Canada with a line now of Messier, Anderson, and Gartner. On the face-off, Sweden in control. Naslund to Rupe, couldn't get it out. Held in by Gartner. Now trying to center it, but Gustafsson gets it and clears it out on left wing for Magnus Rupe. Back for Canada, Raymond Bourque. Rink wide to Crossman. Shot it into center ice. Quite a collision there. Eldebrink took the worst of it, and Gartner flips it in for Canada. Loose puck on the boards. Bourque couldn't hold it in at the point. And Crossman goes back to get it. We're in the final minute of the first period. Canada 2, Sweden 2. Canada trying to dump it in. Tomi Alberlin, number 3, back out, and here's Rupe. In across the line with Naslund, but it's offside. Rupe actually put himself offside in the play.
Well, Magnus Rupe, there's Mats Naslund, who has, of course, had some great seasons here in Montreal. Long talk with Mats this afternoon, talking about the fortunes of Swedish hockey. He said a very important thing. He says, if you look back to what they are is the 1968s, as they like to call them, the kids that have come along and have played, those juniors that came along in the early 70s. And he says they're now a part of the Swedish team, but he says they're going to have a down period because the juniors have not been very good for Sweden the last couple of years.
Here's number 22, Håkan Södergren, getting it into center ice, now picked up by the trailer Janssen, who just shot it. Hartsburg for Canada defending, cleared it back out. Samuelsson trying to carry in. Now to Janssen, flips it in, and Coffey back with 20 seconds left in the period. Paul Coffey out to Goulet. Shot it to center, knocked down, and here's Bergqvist, number 18. Just circling around, dropping it back to Janssen. Looks like Sweden would like to just let this first period tick off. Here's Bergqvist now on offense. Fires one wide of the net, and that will end the first period here at the Forum in Montreal. Quite a start by Canada. Sweden took over in the middle. Canada's power play came back. They got both goals in the power play, but the late one to tie it at 2-2.
Well, Grant Fuhr didn't have a bad period. He needed a little help, I think, a little more help from his defense than he got. As for Sweden, I think they go to the dressing room feeling pretty satisfied overall.
Canada outshot Sweden 11-5, but it's tied at 2 after 1. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. Purcell, who could ask for anything more? Gretzky on a power play early for Canada at 1:55, but then Gustafsson and Pettersson almost a minute apart, just over a minute apart to give Sweden the lead, and then another late power play goal at 17:10 by Mario Lemieux. Shots on goal favored Canada 11-5, and it's a 2-2 game as we await period 2.
One thing that's very noticeable in this game, and it's a statistic, shots that many coaches and a lot of broadcasters detest, but in this particular game, the shots on goal, because of the quality of the shots, really tell a pretty good story. They have basically not been just jamming the net and whacking away. They are setting up plays, and they've just been really terrific performance by the goaltenders. The 2 goals, of course, against Fuhr were big defensive errors, mostly team defensive errors.
Here's Sundstrom for Sweden, number 17. Sundstrom chopped it in front, deflected just wide by Eldebrink. Now, actually it was Alberlin who got the deflection. Now Alberlin again at the point, trying to hold it in. Can't. Rundqvist to Sundstrom, back to Rundqvist. Moves in, shoots, makes save Fuhr. And then it's cleared by Bourque. After it is Eklund, number 4. Sundstrom behind the net, can't get it, and Crossman out to Brent Sutter, number 21. Sutter for Canada. Fires it down. Alberlin overskates it. Goulet centered to Sutter, missed him, and Gretzky couldn't get a stick on it, and Crossman has to chase back. Over to Rochefort, number 5. Fires one in off the stick of Eldebrink. Cleared out, and here's Gustafsson. Into center ice, Gretzky breaks it up. Number 99, Wayne Gretzky, checked in the play, and here's Rupe. Ahead to Naslund. Naslund trying to feed it through to Gustafson. Patrick there to clear it away. Now Naslund, number 26. Back to Janssen. Shot. Rupe after the rebound. It's tied up. Fires it around behind the net. And Patrick chasing after it for Canada. Trying to get it to Mike Gartner. He did. Gartner checked. Now Naslund on the boards with Patrick. Gartner backs the play up and clears it out of there. And going back to pick it up is Janssen. Thomas Janssen. Now stolen by Canada. Anderson shot. Juggled. Loose in front. Anderson. No goal. He kicked it in.
Absolutely no goal. If the referee had been in the other corner, he might have got away with it, but he was right there in front of him. Anderson looked like a soccer player on the play. Now watch him. Off to the side of the net. The puck bounces around in there. Anderson moving in on the puck. It bounces there. Now there he is. And there is the little kick off the post. Kick it again. Get it in the net.
The referee, Carl Gustav Kaisala of Finland. And really no big argument from Canada, and there was no grounds for an argument.
Better not. Watch number 9, Anderson. The puck bouncing around. There's the kick. And into the net it goes. So no goal.
Anders Carlson, number 20, against Mario Lemieux. Lemieux out with Tocchet and Prop for Canada. Coffey back on the defense with Hartsburg. Over to Coffey. Tipped into center ice, and Telvin, number 27, under pressure, has to circle and fires it up the middle. Coffey, number 77, back for Canada. Now to Hartsburg. Into center ice to Prop. Broken up, and Carlson goes back. Number 20, Anders Carlson. Out onto left wing, picked up by Bergquist. Bergquist, number 18. Drive right on by Sudergren, number 22, and quite a save by Pure. Cleared away. Carlson going back to get it, number 20. Fired up the middle, and Coffey intercepts. Paul Coffey with Howardchuk leaves it for Lemieux, but Pettersson back checking. He's upended, and we're going to get a penalty here to Canada. And Sweden will have a power play chance. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Claude Lemieux goes off for tripping at 2:50. Pettersson trying to work up along the boards, and Lemieux just hits the stick under the skate. Down goes Pettersson.
Sweden on its first power play of this game. Previous action, they've been 3 for 14. Pardon me, 3 for 13 on the power play. This is their first power play action of this game. Albaline moving it in. Crossman back for Canada. And Crossman fired it up. Gilmore just lets it go, and it goes the length of the ice. Eldebrink, number 2. Anders Eldebrink around to Pettersson, number 21. Dropping it back, and here comes Eldebrink. Eldebrink leaving it there. Eklund shoots nowhere near the net with that low slap shot. Canada trying to clear it, and here's Doug Gilmore. Cross to Bork. Bork moving in with Gilmore and Sutter, and it's offside at Sweden's blue line.
Well, in Hartford, the Soviets have taken a 3-1 lead. Svedlov. That's Langway. He gets around there, and in he goes on the backhand and puts it past Barrasso. And that was the third goal. They go with goals by Kaminsky and Makarov. And that's the end of the period. It is 3-1. Soviets leading Team USA in Hartford tonight. Tell us they got a full house in Hartford for that game.
And here in Montreal, 2-2 early in the second period. Claude Lemieux in the penalty box. Sweden on a power play as they drop it back into their own zone to Janssen. Janssen over to Eldebrink, who got knocked off the puck. And Janssen has to pick it up. Thomas Janssen, number 8 from the New York Islanders. Firing one up the middle. Perfect pass to Naslund. Mats Naslund, number 26. Sliding it into the corner. Sweden trying to center. Gustafson at the side. Trying to jam it in. Gustafson again. Naslund at the point. Sliding across Rochefort, but Naslund gets it. Rochefort tied him up. Now Janssen shoots one. hit his own man, Rupe, in front of the net. Canada break away with Gardner. Only Eldebrink to beat. Eldebrink used the poke check to break it up. Naslund right back for Sweden. 20 seconds left in Canada's penalty. Now to Janssen. Shot deflects into the corner. Mike Gardner clearing it out. And Eldebrink has it for Sweden. To Janssen. Tying him up is Gretzky. Gretzky stole it. Puck loose in center. Janssen has it. Claude Lemieux back on. Canada killing off the penalty, and circling at center is Rundqvist. Ahead to Eklund. He leaves it there for Telvin, shooting one high off the glass. That hit the crossbar on the way by. I think it may have grazed the crossbar. Loose puck. Rundqvist, number 9, checked, and Canada cleared. Here's Claude Lemieux. Has Gretzky open, can't get it to him. And Lindmark came out and made a play. Good defensive play by Peter Anderson, number 19, to break up the 2-on-1 and stop the pass up. Shot in by Sweden. That's Hartsburg back to get the puck for Coffey. Coffey trying to clear it. Eklund couldn't hold it in. Gretzky had it for the moment. Now Eldebrink, number 2, into Rundqvist. He's checked, and it's cleared out for Canada. Gretzky after it. Albeline is there to knock it away. Now Canada on the attack again. Here's Crossman, number 2. In front to Tocchet, deflected wide. And Carlson flips it up the middle. Albeline, number 3. Has Bergquist with him. Leaves it for Bergquist. Back to Albeline. Shot off the side of the net. Now trying to work it in front. Number 18, Bergquist. Shot hit the side of the goal, and Canada clear it out of there. Hustling back is Samuelsson, number 7. Thomas Samuelsson. And Bourque plays it for Canada. Much of the play in the neutral ice area at this point. Team sticking to defense. Now Canada's Tocchet couldn't get anywhere. Samuelsson broke that up. And Crossman back for Canada to Bourque. Quickly to Prop. Shot it in. Number 7, Samuelsson. Pokes it on the boards to Södergren. Number 22, Håkan Södergren. Leaving it for Janssen. He's taken out by Patrick. And now Canada's net is knocked ajar, and that stops play. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. There's a penalty on that last play. Rome score, interference. 6:51 the time. That was the play when the Team Canada net was knocked loose, so Sweden got another power play chance.
They'll call that in Europe a lot, too. They don't like to see those nets dislodged.
Here's Peter Anderson at the point, shooting. Big save there by Pure. Big pile up. And finally play whistled down. Good stop by Pure on a good low shot from the point by Peter Anderson.
Well, all of the Kent Nielsen fans with bad news for you, really. Nielsen taken off the ice in a great deal of difficulty. Is out for the rest of the game with a Charlie horse in his right leg. So he's gone at least the rest of the night. Here's the chance in front of the net. Now this one was a deflection, and Pure was in a perfect position. And they finally just got down and covered that up. He had no idea where that puck was. And a lot of good traffic in front of the net to keep everybody off balance.
And Mike Keenan, we're going to get another penalty meanwhile as Keenan looks on from Team Canada's bench. I don't know what this is about. Telvin gets a penalty for Sweden.
We didn't spot it in that replay, but there were a couple of players went down. As I said, there were a lot of good traffic. Obviously, there was one bad traffic in there.
I think it was something that happened actually after the play.
Telvin is saying, now what did I do? It's not going to get an answer from the penalty timekeeper, unfortunately.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. So I was right. It didn't have anything to do with the play. It happened in the stoppage. And Keisler sends Telvin to the penalty box.
Well, I got the impression that Keisler's not going to put up with very much. He was roasted after the game in Hamilton. He had to handle a game that I'm sure he has never seen in his life. And they're doing a special film of this tournament. They had a mic on him throughout that game. I'd love to hear what was said.
I'd like to hear the outtakes. Here's a chance for Sweden, and the shot from the side of the net came wide. Each team a man short. That was Naslund, by the way, who had that chance for Sweden moments ago. And Canada in control right now. 2-2 the score. As Team Canada try and work it out from their own end of the rink. Ray Bourque off to Doug Crossman. Crossman back in front to Messier. Crossman there. Albeline tying him up, and back comes Naslund. To Gustafson, number 16. Gustafson stick handling beautifully. And a diving poke check by Bourque. Meanwhile, a penalty coming up for interference against Team Canada. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Well, we've got one for the Brad Park album of cheap shots coming up. For this one is Glenn Anderson, who came up behind Naslund. Now Nasland's trailing on the play, looking to pick the puck up, and well, no, that was a good check. That's called interference only because Naslund looked worse when I saw it live. When Naslund originally went down, I thought he'd put the knee to him, but it was a good hip check. He just didn't have the puck, and that's the reason for the interference.
Means Canada will be 2 men short. Sweden only won a 4-against-3 power play. Albeline to Eldebrink. Back to Albeline. Into the side of the net. Back to Albeline to Eldebrink. Nowhere near the net with that shot. To Eldebrink again. Over to Albeline. Into the side of the net to number 22, Södergren. Back to Albeline. Södergren moves in. Eldebrink shoots. Stick save pure, and Crossman carries out for Canada. And Crossman fires it in. Eldebrink, number 2, back together. Sweden with a 4-against-3 power play. This is Carlson, number 20. To Albeline. Deflected. And over top of the net as Carlson got a stick on it to the edge of the crease. Canada clear it out of there. Rochefort is now back on, so each team a man short. For the moment, here's Gustafson. Gretzky almost stole it. Gustafson again. Cleared it. And Peter Anderson, who had just come off the bench, moves in offside. Now the final Swedish player is out of the penalty box, Talbot. Canada still with Anderson with 47 seconds left, so still a power play for Sweden.
Well, he had a 4-on-3 power play going there, and that has to help teams like Sweden give skaters like this the kind of room. Now there you see 2 triangles. The 4th man position now moves in front of the net. He's all alone in front of the net. The defenseman playing off him just a little bit. There you see it. Shot missed the net. So that extra man in there, but the defenseman kind of looking after the top end of the goal crease, and let Fuhr look after the odd man if they can get the puck to him.
Sweden still on a power play as Canada clear it away. 40 seconds left in Anderson's penalty. Here's Naslund, forechecked by Brent Sutter. Sutter back of the point to Bourque. Bourque's backhander up high and handled by Lindmark. Sweden with number 27, Mikael Talbot from the Boston Bruins. Bangs it in off the glass. Here's Rupe in to pick it up. To Gustafson. Back to Rupe, number 24, to Peter Anderson. Shooting one. Fuhr got a stick on that, and Bourque whacks it off the glass down the ice. Just 7 seconds left in the penalty. Peter Anderson for Sweden. Into center ice to Naslund. Now out of the penalty box, Anderson. Here's Naslund. Sliding it back to the net. Gustafson centered. Goulet cleared it. Held in. Shot from the point by Samuelson. Deflects wide. And Canada carry out of there. Anderson over onto the wing to Goulet. Back to Anderson. Grabbed by Lindmark. And he held it for a faceoff. Still a 2-2 game. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
We're past the midway point of the game. That little rolling shot, which was absolutely harmless, was Canada's shot. It was Canada's second of the period. We're past the midway point of the period, so the offense has gone to sleep.
Here's Gretzky, backhander, loose in front, and cleared away, I believe, by Janssen before it could cross the goal line. Here's Eklund firing it in high, and Fuhr throws it to Coffey. Out on the boards, racing after Goulet has Gretzky. Gretzky with him. Back to Goulet, just tipped by Janssen. And now Lundqvist, number 9, back for Sweden. Leaving it for Eklund in front, and Janssen was wide open, but hurried and fanned on a slap shot, and Canada clear it to center. Samuelsson, number 7. Tommy Samuelsson flipping it in. That's Hartsburg trying to pin him there, and he does, and we'll get a stoppage in play.
Yeah, some great chances there, and Wayne Gretzky getting an excellent one in front of the net, and I would have to think that Lindmark was more lucky than good on this one as he turned and just hoisted it, and it's by him. Goulet will do anything to get that puck. Can't get it. He was completely tied up. The defense doing the job. Everybody winds up in a pile, including Claude Lemieux at the side of the net. Meanwhile, as usual, it starts with Gretzky.
Here's the line for Sweden. Karlsson at center. Södergren on left wing. And over on the right side, Bergqvist. Lemieux out there for Canada with Propp and Tocchet. And Bourque controls from the faceoff. To big Mario Lemieux. Can't get around Albaline. And it's fired around by Karlsson to the other side of the ice. Propp into Tocchet. Tocchet trying to center as Karlsson has him tied up. Now Propp behind the net. In front to Lemieux. Poked down, and Lindmark makes the save. And here's Bergqvist, number 18. Got it to center. Knocked down there. Crossman. Shot it into the zone, and now it's Eldebrink back for Sweden. To Bergqvist, to Södergren, who clears it in. Fuhr shoots it up on the boards. Södergren holding it in again. Bergqvist missed it, but now picking it up and then getting upended was Karlsson. And Crossman has it for Canada. To Glenn Anderson. Long pass ahead, misses everyone, and Karlsson goes back. Sweden really checking Canada to a standstill here in the second period after Canada had dominated the first. Here's Eklund, number 4. Leaving it there for Telvin. Into Eklund. Knocked away by Canada and cleared right back out. Peter Anderson, number 19. Anderson flipping it out on the boards. Here's Pettersson shooting at the center. Carried right back in by Messier. Mark Messier shooting. Lindmark a save, and jabbing away at the rebound was number 9, Glenn Anderson, but Lindmark held it up. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
12:38 remainder gone rather in the second period. Great chance, great wrist shot by Messier, who just teed it up and then let it go, and that caused problems. Now Anderson is right there looking for a rebound, and there is Lindberg desperately trying to cover up as Peter Anderson moved into the picture. And it remains 2-2. Interesting thing about this period, Dan, is that I think Team Canada is doing a better job defensively in this period. It's almost like Mike Keenan said, look, I don't want any more sloppiness like I had in the first period that led to the 2 goals. And they are minding their P's and Q's in that department more, but they've sacrificed a little bit of offense in order to do it.
Here's Gretzky with Sutter and Goulet, a forward line for Canada now. Gustafsson against Sutter on the faceoff. Won by Sutter, back to Hartsburg. Big shot nowhere near the net. Goulet trying to slide it around. Naslund quickly clearing it out on left wing, and Samuelsson gets it to Rupe. Shot to Canada's line. Hartsburg has it there. Rupe up, forechecking very vigorously. Here's Coffey for Canada. Now to Sutter. He gets it on the second try. Sutter cutting in. Oh, missed Goulet at the edge of the crease. Coffey shoots. That's just wide. Another shot. And Lindmark stopped it, and then it's cleared. Gustafsson trying to get it out. Centered by Canada. Rupe comes back from out near the blue line, and as he falls, cleared it out of there, and Canada is going to get a penalty as Rupe was upended in his own zone, and Gretzky will go to the penalty box. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Wayne Gretzky laid a little bit of a hook right in front of the net that could have caused a turnover, and that's why the official whistled this one down. Here it is. Gretzky's right on top of the man, inside the zone, and as he tried to get loose Rupe, just put the hook on him and sent him to his knees. That kind of thing, especially when you see somebody like Goulet floating around in front, could have been very dangerous. So the turnover caused by a foul results in a penalty.
Fans in Philadelphia, from what I've seen here tonight, can look forward to Rupe, and he's a good hockey player.
Very much involved.
Samuelsson for Sweden on a power play. 2-2 the score. Sweden 0 for 2 with the man advantage in this game. Here's Karlsson trying to get away from Gilmore, leaving it for Janssen. Thomas Janssen to Karlsson, number 20. Winds up wide on the short side. Bork back to clear it right back up. And Lindmark comes halfway to the blue line to play that. This is Thomas Janssen. Janssen, number 8, leaving it there for number 7. Samuelsson back to Janssen. And offside, as in ahead of the play near the blue line was Bergquist, who now argues with the linesman Kevin Collins about the call.
Well, these are the standings up to date. We've had one game completed. Czechoslovakia defeated Finland in a game on the East Coast. So Canada in front, undefeated so far, and locked in a 2-2 tie with Sweden. And we're past the midway point of this game. The U.S. and the Soviet Union are tied, with the Soviet Union leading into the third period 3-1 in their game. So the three-way tie for second place. So it's going to be a kind of a watershed night in this tournament.
Here's Bork for Canada with 1:12 left in Gretzky's penalty. Bork almost lost it, now got it to Sutter. And picking it up for Sweden is Mikael Andersson. Into Pettersson. Back to Andersson. Shot right on. Stick save by Fuhr. Bork is there. Pettersson, number 21, trying to get it free. And Bork is there defensively for Canada to clear it away. Lindmark to number 19, Peter Anderson. Anderson out on right wing for Peter Sundstrom, number 17, across to Anderson. Mikael Anderson, that is, who cleared it in. And Rochefort is there to fire it right back out. 28 seconds left in Canada's penalty. Just over 5 minutes left in the second period, a 2-2 game. Here's Gustafsson, number 16. Trying to work it free to Tom Eklund. Back to Gustafsson. Eklund now controlling. Eklund on this Swedish power play. To Eldebrink. Return to Eklund. Centered out in front. Pettersson shot off the side of the net and Fuhr's pad at the same time in Canada. Gretzky back on. Here's Sutter with Gretzky. Sutter trying to work around Telbin. Now does get it in front, but Gustafsson is there defensively, and here's a pass to Naslund. Hartsburg trying to get back. Naslund moves in. Got the shot off, and Fuhr a save on the short side on Mats Naslund. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Well, Grant Fuhr had to come up big. Another defensive mistake. This time Rochefort was the one that was caught down in the corner, and then Naslund. Good job by Hartsburg to get back into position to harass Mr. Naslund a little bit, and just caught that one in that area that's so tough to handle, up where he can be handcuffed a bit. And Fuhr comes up again with a big save.
Rundqvist winning a face-off, but Canada control, and here's Bork firing it into center ice. Rundqvist, number 9. Over to Albeline, but now Mario Lemieux dropping it to Hartsburg. And here's Coffey. Flips it off the boards. Albeline there to get it. Clears it right back up. Hartsburg over to Paul Coffey. Canada and Sweden tied at 2. Pass to Prop. Head to Lemieux. Here's Eldebrink moving in. Shoots one. Stick save Fuhr. Coffey takes care of the rebound. Off the boards for Mario Lemieux. Lemieux moving in against Eldebrink. Circles. Gets away from Eldebrink. Fires it around on the boards to Claude. Claude Lemieux into Prop. Now to Mario Lemieux. Put it in front. Knocked away and cleared by Sweden, as it's now Prop going back to get it. 2-2 the score. This game on the line right here. Now Mario Lemieux gets tied up at center. That's what the fans holler about. Crossman Trying to feed it through, and here comes Gretzky. Got it into the zone, but Janssen there to shoot it right back up. Here's Eklund for Sweden. Eklund moving in, trying to make a play. Eklund still with it, centered. Everybody was covered. Now Carlson for Sweden. Over on the right side for Anderson. They try and center to Carlson. Here's Eklund. Now Södergren in there behind the net with Crossman as they do battle. Cleared. Eklund has it in the corner. He gets knocked off the puck by Anderson. And now Canada with Crossman feeding Gretzky. Gretzky to Anderson. Broken up by Samuelsson. Now to Södergren for Sweden. He's checked, and Tommy Samuelsson beats Södergren, number 22. He's taken out of the play by Bork, and back comes Goulet to Gretzky. Sweden break it up at the blue line, and here they come on the attack. Little Mats Naslund. Naslund leaving it for Peter Anderson. Fired into the corner, and Glenn Anderson has it for Canada. Out to Gretzky. 2 minutes left in the second period. 2-2 the score. Telvin, number 27, to Peter Anderson. Headmanning it to Roope, number 24. Roope on his backhand, lets it go just wide. Canada starting back. Third off the boards by Gartner, but Propp couldn't get it. Now Gartner whistles a shot. He scores! Mike Gartner! Well, I think, Ron, you could say Peter Lindmark should have had that one.
Well, it came up high on him. He blasted it, took it off the blocker, and rolled up over his shoulder and into the net. Now this was sheer stick-to-itiveness by Gartner, who started that play and had a pretty good play to watch, supposedly with Propp. Propp couldn't handle that good tip pass, and Gartner with that great speed caught up to his own pass and just leaned into it. Terrific goal. And Mike Gartner picking up his first goal in the tournament.
18:23 the time, and a big one for Canada. This game is on the line right here.
Well, broke the tie, and you're right. But Gartner started that play deep in his own end with a tip pass up to Propp. But it was a little too far ahead for Propp. And Gartner, coming steaming up the wing, just picked it up again and went over the line.
Now Canada flipping it into Sweden's end. Eldebrink back to get it. Messier up to forecheck. It comes to Naslund. His pass intercepted by Messier. Naslund has to go back. Leaving it there for Albeline, number 3. Tommy Albeline losing it. Here's Messier. Sundstrom checks him. That's Peter Sundstrom now picking up the loose puck is Eldebrink. Eldebrink with Rundqvist moving in. Leaving it for Rundqvist. He overskates it. And Propp cleared it away. We're in the final minute of the second period. Albeline. Now play had been called. Again, Canada's goal has been knocked loose, and we get a stoppage, but 50 seconds left in the second period, the scoring play. Gartner unassisted at 18:20.
Millimeter camera of the 1988 Olympic Winter Games. Take a look at this play that led to the go-ahead goal in the game, and the story again was Mike Gartner. We'll get a chance to see it, we hope, before the period is out. This play is back underway. Here's Dan again.
Canada with a 3-2 lead. Rochefort getting it to Doug Gilmour, now to Brent Sutter. He leaves it for James Patrick, and it's cleared in by Canada. Gilmour in to get it. To Goulet, knocked away from him, and Sweden start back. Carlson tied up by Goulet. Puck comes loose, and Patrick clears it up the ice. Now Bergquist. But play is called because of a hand pass. And now we'll get a chance to look at that goal by Mike Gartner.
It's great to have speed in this game, and the one thing that Mike Gartner has always possessed is speed. Now, the puck along the boards, Gartner just tipping it up, trying to get it to Propp. Now, Propp can't reach it. Too far for him. Now, watch Gartner. He's trailing on the play, and he'll come up, pick up the puck. Propp, beautiful job staying on side, and here comes the blast. Up over the top of Lindmark and into the net. Terrific play by Gartner. Good play by Propp to stay on side on a play like that.
23 seconds left in the second period. Canada leading 3-2. Gustafsson getting it to Peter Anderson. Now to Telvin. Back to Peter Anderson. He leaves it, and Telbin comes from behind the play, ran into his own man, and Peter Anderson had to hustle back. Now to Rupe, but shot away by Canada, and that should end the period. Telbin going back to get it. Mario Lemieux hot on his heels. And there's the buzzer to end the second period. The only goal by Mike Gartner. And Peter Lindmark probably thinks that's one I should have had as he heads towards Sweden's locker room.
Well, Sweden outshot Canada in the period 10-7. Total shots on goal through 2 periods. Canada 18 and Sweden 15. Canada has to feel a lot better about the period. One, they kept the Swedes off the scoreboard, but they also kept the minimum number of scoring chances. They kept them to a minimum. So 3-2 after 2 periods, Canada leading.
Both teams heading for their locker room after 40 minutes. Canada 3, Sweden 2. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. Canada leading 3-2 after 2 periods. Our Toyota scoring summary brought to you by Toyota, makers of the racy Celica GTS. Who could ask for anything more? The only scoring play, Mike Gartner at 18:23. Sweden in that period outshot Canada 10-7. In the game, Canada 18 shots, Sweden 15. A big goal by Mike Gartner.
And just to update you on what's occurring at the Hartford Civic Center, the Soviet Union lost its little tug-of-war over the stick. They have also been called for using an illegal stick.
And that's not unusual.
That's not unusual. And in Europe, European players, and I include the Swedes and Czechoslovakia and so on, think it's bad form to ask for a stick measurement. They don't hesitate over here. Philadelphia Flyers made a career of it there for a while. It seemed like they were measuring everybody's stick, and very seldom were they missing on it. In any case, now the U.S. is on a power play at a key moment in that game with the score 3-1. I remember a couple of instances. Rendezvous was mentioned by the broadcast crew down in Hartford. 1980 Olympics, Canada in a big game against the Soviet Union tried to get a stick measured, and the Soviets hit the stick, never did get the right one out there, and of course it failed.
Here we go at the third period. Canada leading 3-2. Ray Bourque back in his own zone, number 7 for Canada. Feeding it to Doug Crossman. Quickly ahead on right wing to Claude Lemieux, who let it go into the corner. Albeline trying to clear it, and Sweden quickly come right out of there. Carlson over on right wing to Bergqvist, to dropped the puck back, but dropped it outside the blue line and put the whole play offside at Team Canada's blue line.
A couple of people that have caught my eye in this game. Just the word comes up from the truck that the Soviet Union has scored a shorthanded goal. That is number 9 for the Soviet Union. Krutov over the line, stops. No, here he comes. No, he's going to get it back. There he is. That's Makarov who set him up, and Krutov scores. Shorthanded goal. Where was the U.S. in that? Pressing down the other end, obviously, 4-1.
So the illegal stick measurement backfires. Here's Canada with Lemieux getting tugged down on the play. The referee doesn't call any penalty. Fans thought he should have. Bergqvist, number 18, loses. Here's Lemieux. His shot blocked by Albeline in front of the net. Big Mario battling with Carlson. Lemieux into the corner. Now centered to Claude Lemieux, and Lindmark came across and made the save, and then smothered it.
Peter Lindmark is 31 years of age right now. He has never been drafted by a team in the NHL. We've had a couple of Swedish goaltenders over on this side of the Atlantic, most notably Goran Hugusta and Hardy Ostrom, and then the late Pelle Lindbergh, who played with the Flyers. Here he just simply covers the post. Don't pull off the post. That's the secret there, and that's what he did. He just, as the puck was jammed there, it was held. But as we look at Albeline, Tommy Albeline, who will be joining the Quebec Nordiques right after this tournament. But Lindmark never drafted. Part of the problem with Lindmark was that he played for a second division team in Sweden for a long time and got very little attention in his play down there because of the second division, not even by the National Hockey League's scouts, but also by the Swedish national team people, and he refused to go to teams in the first division. They tried to get him, so he was kind of hidden until it was almost too late. He was 27 years of age before he kind of burst into prominence.
Here's Rupe trying to clear it out, held in by Canada. Lindmark quickly clears it back into center ice, and Gartner, number 12, who got that big goal late in the second period, Comes flying down the right side. Around the defense. Cutting in. Backhander. Rebound to Anderson. He fanned him. Two great chances there for Canada. First Gartner, then Anderson. Back comes Rupe, number 24. Moving right in. Fanned on his shot, however, as Rochefort had him partially tied up. Rupe centers to Naslund. Mance Naslund shooting wide by about a foot. Gustafsson into the corner for Rupe. Now to Naslund. Fakes it, cuts in front, right in. Hit the defenseman, Patrick, and he made the save there. James Patrick, who didn't have a stick. And he made a key save to help out his goaltender, Grant Fuhr.
Well, Mance Naslund, you think he doesn't have a few moves out on that ice surface, too. Watch the moves he makes on this play. And then when he finally got it set and he had Fuhr cold, he shot the puck and thought he had an open spot in the net and hit Craig Patrick right on the back of the knee. Look at this move, though. Naslund now finds open ice. Patrick's off to the side there. It's set. Here comes the shot. Hit him on the knee. And it rolled right under. But Mike Gartner, a little earlier, now he scored that goal using his speed. Speed will do so much for you. And he just undressed the defenseman there, Tommy Samuelsson. Now he's alone, goes to the backhand, trailing on the play, and looking for the open net, and unable to get his stick on it was Glenn Anderson.
Face-off won by Brent Sutter in Canada's end of the rink. Coffey now controlling. Canada trying to fire it out of there, and it's knocked down by Mikhail Anderson. His pass ahead to Pettersson. Got it in front. Fuhr cleared it away. Canada trying to work it out of there, and here's Brent Sutter. Good two-way hockey player for Canada. Over to Gretzky. Hartsburg going back to get him. Here's Tom Eklund, centers in front. They score! Mikhail Anderson, number 12, and it's tied 3-3.
That shot may have been deflected too. It was low when it came at Fuhr, and it slid underneath him. It seemed to be a change direction. I'll have to see. Anderson trying to get set. He's number 12. Turns now. Here's his shot, and I think that was deflected down on Fuhr. I think he was looking for a shot up. This will give us a better view. Anderson getting set. There's the shot. There was Coffey who was cruising in front of the net, and it may have deflected on Fuhr, down on him. I think he was looking for a shot that was going up.
So it's tied at 3. Anderson from Eklund. The scoring play for Sweden. 2:12 the time here in the third period. Here's Bork back in Team Canada's end of the rink to Crossman. Held in by Sundstrom, but he handed it right back to Crossman. Up the middle to Mario Lemieux. Now to Prop, but Albeline is there to clear it out. Held in by Claude Lemieux. Back to the goal. Eldebrink overskated it, now trying to clear it. And Sweden does clear it into center ice. Doug Crossman from the Philadelphia Flyers to Ray Bork. Back to Crossman. Up the middle to Prop. Now to Bork. Bork to Mario Lemieux. Claude Lemieux picks it up. Weak shot. And Eldebrink quickly out on right wing to Naslund. Mance Naslund. Shot wide of the net. Fuhr then able to clear it away. And Sundstrom in to try and get it. Now Rundqvist back on the point to Samuelsson. Fires it around on the boards. Here's Rundqvist. And Bork has it for Canada to Mario Lemieux. Claude Lemieux is with him, so is Prop. Here's Big Mario. Shooting, rebound, and Prop couldn't get a stick on it. Back the other way comes Sundstrom, number 17. And it's offside at Team Canada's blue line. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Well, what a game Mario Lemieux is having. What 2 games, really, because he was terrific the other night against the United States. A big guy, and it always amazes people how a guy this big could have the moves that he has. But that reach of his is the key. And then the rebound, and I think he gets his line mates going the wrong way sometimes, or maybe they spectate a little bit like they do when Wayne Gretzky's out there doing his magic. In any case, the rebound again went right by the wingmate.
Canada with a line of Messier, Gartner, and Anderson, and here comes Messier. Working it into Glenn Anderson. Flips it in front. Knocked away by Peter Lindmark. Canada on the attack. Gartner centers, but Naslund is there to intercept. Mance Naslund with James Patrick keeping an eye on him. Naslund cleared it in, and There's going to be a penalty for cross-checking here against Patrick as he took Naslund out. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Well, James Patrick's in the penalty box, and the old European rule, or the rule that Canadians have learned when they play European teams, don't retaliate. I guess that's a rule you can use in the National Hockey League, too, because it always seems to be the retaliator who winds up getting caught. And what happened was Naslund cross-checked Patrick down at the other end, or bumped him hard against the boards, and Patrick retaliated and picked up the penalty.
Here's Tellman on the Swedish power play. Now Anderson letting it go to the point. Shot is blocked by Bourque as Peter Anderson let it go. Crossman on the boards, pinching in there. Gets some help, and Canada break out. Here's Gilmore beating Sutter. Brent Sutter dropping it back to Bourque, cutting in, shoots at the goal post. Or did Tellman get a stick on it? Tellman's, that was shot by Gilmore. Just wide. Two great shorthanded chances for Canada. But one of them, Tellman, the defenseman, just got a stick on it. It appeared headed in behind the goaltender. And now Gilmore, upended by Tellman. And he's going to get a penalty here for interference. Kyle Tellman of the Boston Bruins. And each team will be a man short in this 3-3 game.
Well, a great chance, some great moves by Ray Bourque. People in Boston are used to seeing all of that. Telvain, maybe in frustration, wound up taking a penalty. Well, first of all, he made a great move to save a goal. Here comes, watch Telvain as in comes Bourque. One-on-one, goes to his backhand, and Sutter cutting across, wound up blocking our view slightly there, but he put the glove up on it and saved a goal with Lindmark right out of the net. So the penalty, interference on Telvain, and that means that now the sides will be even strength, and in a minute and 15 with 45 seconds left in the penalty to Telvain, Canada will go on the power play. There it is, the interference at the line.
So each team will be a man short. Patrick has a minute 15 left. And now Tellman joins him at the penalty box. Gretzky and Mario Lemieux up front. Rochefort and Coffey on defense. Comes to Coffey. Paul Coffey weaving his way into the Swedish end of the rink. Centers to Lemieux. Cutting right in. Lemieux. Poke check by Lindmark. Lemieux again. This time cleared away by Bergquist. Now Coffey tried to hold it in. Gretzky does. But picking it up and moving out is Albeline. There's Mario Lemieux stealing it. Cuts in. Couldn't get the shot off. And back comes Sweden. Bergquist to Carlson, number 20. Anders Carlson. Now leaving it there for Eldebrink. He gets knocked down, and Gretzky has it for Canada. Gretzky. Moving into Swedish end of the rink. Fakes it. Moves in deeper to Lemieux. He scores! Mario Lemieux on a brilliant setup by Gretzky. What's the last thing you'd think he wouldn't do? He did it. Now he does a great fake job and then just gives it off. Easy goal for Lemieux. Easy for us to say. Look at that, though. Protected the puck with his skate, faked, then just passed it off, and Lemieux is right there. That fake is really something. The brilliance of Gretzky and Lemieux in living color here on CTV. There they are, side by side. Number 1 and number 2 in the world, I think, in terms of forwards. 5:40 the time of the goal. Lemieux's 5th in the last 2 games. Gretzky the assist. And it's 4-3 Canada. Now Gartner out at center ice to take the face-off. Pulls down Gustafsson. Back comes Gartner. Came to the line, now circled back, but the play had been whistled down.
I think they thought it was
an
offside.
error because the puck carrier had never gone into the zone.
Gardner,
he even pulled the linesman.
Expecting that burst of speed from Gardner and didn't give it to him. now, Mike Gartner has played more games internationally than any other Canadian ever. And when we talk about international performances, and this is something that is really well respected. When you ask a European, how many times did you play for your country? That's the thing he says. With the most pride, I played in so many games. Well, Gartner for Canada has played more than anybody else.
Each team still a man short. 15 seconds left in Patrick's penalty. 58 seconds left in Telbin's penalty of Sweden. Here's Bork to Crossman. Broken up at center ice by Samuelsson. Shot away, and here's Gustafsson, number 16. Messier breaks it up. Messier pulling away from Samuelsson, trying to make a play for Tocchet as Canada's back at full strength now and leading 4-3. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
We're mentioning the Greg, or at least the Mike Gartner international experience. This is his 6th tournament, and he's playing in his 46th international game. It's interesting to note that Craig Hartsburg is in his 6th tournament, and so is James Patrick, who may go ahead of all of them because he's such a young player. Patrick played in the Olympics. When they talk about international tournaments, you include the Canada Cup, World Hockey Championships, World Junior, and also in there is the Olympics.
41 seconds left in Telbin's penalty. Canada with 2 power play goals tonight. Here's Bork. Back to Coffey. Over to Gretzky. Back to Coffey. Coffey shooting. Lemieux deflects it over top of the net. Gretzky from behind the net. In front. Messier a whack at it. Gretzky trying to get it. Now Messier trying to stuff it in. And 2 men have to move Messier from the side of the net. Gretzky couldn't drop it back. And Sweden carry out of there with Rundqvist. Feeding one to number 17, Peter Sundstrom, who fell down. And Coffey has it for Canada. 5 seconds left in Sweden's penalty. Coffey couldn't get it around the defenseman, and Albeline whacks it out of there. Telbin just out of the penalty box trying to get it. Missed it, and Bork has it. Bork clearing it to center. Here's Peter Anderson shooting it back in. Bork there, right in front of his own net, giving it off to Coffey. Now firing it into center ice. Here's Bent Gustafsson. Loses to Gretzky. Shot back to center. Tocchet couldn't catch up with it. And Doug Gilmour has it over to Bork. Bork trying to clear it out. And he clears at the length of the ice. Telbin back on the touching of the puck for an icing call. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Final score at Hartford. The Soviet Union has defeated the USA 5-1. Game that broke open finally in the 3rd period thanks to that shorthanded goal by Karutov that paved the way. Semyonov also scored in the 3rd period.
Here's Canada leading in the 3rd against Sweden 4-3. Sweden dumping it in. Rochefort back to pick it up. Around on the boards to Tocchet. Tocchet trying to clear it. Gets another chance and does get it into center ice. Telbin rink wide to Peter Anderson. Muir handles the long shot. And James Patrick, number 6, works it out to Tocchet to Doug Gilmour. Gilmour looking for Howardchuk. And Howardchuk dumps it in. Going back for Sweden and picking it up is Anders Karlsson. Long pass up the middle. Bork breaking it up. Canada leading 3-2. Here's Doug Crossman. In front to Tocchet. Shot it just wide. Now Mario Lemieux back of the net. Now Tocchet. Number 22 to Lemieux. Here's Big Mario. Scooped it in front. Poked just wide by Howardchuk. And then covering up on it was Telbin as he just sprawled on the puck behind the net. Great work by Big Mario Lemieux from behind the goal as he tried to set up a play.
Into his Wayne Gretzky act back there. Watch the big guy. He's going to block the whole picture out here. Finally fed it out, and it was nearly kicked in by a Swedish player out in front there as Howardchuk moved through the slot as well. There's Telbin of the Boston Bruins. Tellin, the other defenseman with Boston. Is not with this team. Talking to Tommy Sandlin, who is the coach of Sweden, said that he may have made a mistake. He says, my lack of experience perhaps kind of kicked in, but he says I should have brought a big defenseman with me, and I didn't. I wanted mobility and puck handling ability, As Ulf Samuelsson should have been part of this team, and he said if I had to do it again, I'd probably include him.
Here's Bourque for Canada. Cross ice to Crossman. Now to Claude Lemieux. Trying to flip it through to Prop, but it's offside at Sweden's blue line. 11:06 to play in the third period. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Talk about guys with international experience. Ryan Prop is playing in his fourth tournament. Ryan Prop in the World Championships a couple of times. 28 years old from Lanigan, Saskatchewan. By the Philadelphia Flyers.
11:06 left in the third period. Canada 4, Sweden 3. Bourque with a long shot, and he put it up too high and over the glass. We reached the 9-minute mark here of the third period.
I think there's the first defenseman to really round into form. The rest of them are coming. Ray Bourque played a great game against the United States the other night. Has carried it on through here. Boy, I tell you, now you're going to pick the star of the game for Canada. Is it Gretzky? Goal, a couple of assists. Is it Lemieux? A couple of goals. Some great chances. We'll leave that up to somebody else to decide.
Here's Albeline for Sweden. Fell down, and quickly clearing it was Anders Eldebrink. Gartner now for Canada. Gartner couldn't get around Eldebrink. And Eldebrink comes right back. Poke check by Crossman. Now cleared to Anderson. To Gartner. Gartner breaks in. Shoots. And he fired that one just wide. Bourque pinching in. Winds it around for Gartner, but intercepting it on the far side is Rupe. Canada take over, but get the puck back into the neutral ice area and have to reorganize. Here's Messier. Flipping one. That misses Gartner. Goes down the ice. Anderson digging in. He couldn't get it, and Gustafsson feeds it out to Rupe, number 24. Now to Naslund. Flipped in. Coffey back for Canada. Paul Coffey for Gretzky. Gretzky takes that puck on his skates beautifully. Cleared at the center, but broken up, and Eklund comes right back. Fuhr cleared it off to Paul Coffey. Coffey to Glenn Anderson. Check, but Coffey was there to cover up. Here's Coffey, number 77 for the Edmonton Oilers, to Glenn Anderson. Now to Gretzky. Gretzky checked from behind by Pettersson, number 21. And Coffey has it there. 9.5 minutes left. Coffey flips it in. Telvin there. Shoots it back up. And James Patrick is there. Over to Rochefort. Rochefort. Telvin intercepting. And here's Pettersson to Telvin. Rink wide to Peter Anderson, number 19. And he shoots it in. Telvin. Firing it around. Patrick there to quickly clear it for Canada. And Gretzky breaks out beautifully. Gretzky with Sutter and Goulet. 3-on-2 break. Gretzky banned on the shot. Now feeds it through to Goulet in front. Sutter deflects wide. Here's Brent Sutter. Tied up behind by Tommy Samuelsson. Goulet in to get it to Gretzky. Back to Patrick. Shooting. He scores! Goulet deflects it in. Secret, get the shot low and let it be deflectable. That's what Patrick did. Number 6 is Patrick, just waiting at the blue line. Gretzky's got himself another point. Out to the blue line. Goulet into position. Low shot. Goulet just gets the toe of the stick on it. Nothing Lindmark could do at all. Gretzky now has 1, 2, 3 assists and a goal in this game. Canada leads at 5-3. So Michel Goulet picking up a goal. A member of the Quebec Nordics, who I think most of us think is the best left winger in the game. Goulet from the Nordiques makes it 5-3. Gretzky and Patrick the assists, 11:20 the time. And Canada has a 5-3 lead. Here's Prop to Mario Lemieux. Lemieux trying to center it. Poked around in the boards. Mario Lemieux trying to make a play. Lemieux tied up by Samuelsson. Now Lemieux getting free, still with the puck. Still has it. And then was checked before he could shoot after some unbelievable stick handling. Tocchet trying to center to Crossman. Crossman couldn't get it in front, and Sweden break out of there. Johnson leading the rush. Now Thomas Johnson dropping it back. Got it in front, knocked away by Bork, and here's Messier. Has Tocchet with him. 2-on-2 break. Messier now drops it back to Hartsburg. Shooting, and Lindmark made the save and held on. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Well, there's the score, and Mario Lemieux is putting on quite a show out there.
That was Wayne Gretzky, a goal and 3 assists.
Oh, yes. And I think we haven't got it officially now because we don't have all the scoring in the Soviet games, Soviet and the Czechoslovak games, but I would have to think he's in the lead, the scoring race here in this tournament as well now.
Here's Naslund for Sweden, firing it in. Rochefort back to get it. Jam up on the board. Sweden's Naslund coming up with it. Wide on the short side. Eldebrink held it in. The Ruppe. Now to Gustafsson. That's the line. Gustafsson, Naslund, and Ruppe. Here's Naslund. Back on the point. Eldebrink high with that shot. And then Gustafsson ran into Pure. Pure went down, but Canada cleared it out of there. 6:48 left in the third period. 5-3 Canada. Rochefort getting it out of the zone. Gustafsson drops it back, and going back is Anders Eldebrink. Number 2 Eldebrink giving it to Telvin, number 27. Checked by Gretzky, but Telvin gets it again. Cleared in, and Paul Coffey is there. Coffey to Gretzky. Gretzky to Goulet. Goulet shoots wide on the short side. And then it's quickly cleared out by Mikael Anderson for Sweden. Here comes Coffey, flipping it in for Canada. Cleared to Mikael Anderson. Long lead pass to Eklund, and that's offside at Team Canada's blue line. We're down to 5:59 left in the third period.
Well, we talk about all of the things that Michel Goulet has done, and I said I think I'm fairly safe in saying that he's the best left winger in the National Hockey League right now. First choice by the Nordiques back in 1979. Has had all of those 50-goal seasons, and last year a 49-goal season with the Nordiques. You know, Steve Shutt holds the record for most goals by a left winger in the NHL at 60. And even Steve used to tell me that, you know, the guy who's going to break my record is Goulet. He's come close, but he hasn't broken it yet. Shutt played on that great line with Lemaire and Lafleur.
Here's a face-off outside Sweden's blue line. 5:59 left. Canada 5, Sweden 3. Sutter with Goulet and Gretzky out there. And Paul Coffey banks it off the board. Sutter digs in. Quickly knocked out by Sweden, and here they come on a 3-on-2 break. Carlson can't catch up with the pass, and Coffey makes a good play to break it up, and now Goulet with Sutter. And Gretzky trailing. Goulet couldn't get it to Sutter as sliding across was Samuelson. Now it's Gretzky. He's held in check by Bergqvist, number 18, and Sweden clear it to center. Coffey to Hartsburg to Sutter. Intercepting is Samuelson. Pass ahead to Bergqvist. He's taken out, and Coffey goes back for Team Canada. Feeds Gretzky. Gretzky doing some nifty stick handling. Drops it to Coffey. Fired in, and Eldebrink goes back for Sweden. To Bent Gustafsson. Now to Alveli, number 3. To Ruppe, he's checked, and Crossman cleared it back out. Tocchet picks it up, and that's a 2-line offside. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. Canada 5, Sweden 3. 4:50 to play here in the third period. Canada from the face-off. Hartsburg and Bork controlling. Here's Hartsburg to Bork. Back to Crossman, who was on the defense with Bork. Puts it in. And Eldebrink is there. to Bent Gustafsson. Right in front of his own net for Eldebrink. Now to Rupe. Firing it in. Naslund into the corner, and then it's tipped up over the glass, and we'll have a face-off back in Canada's end of the ring.
Well, we talked about great performances tonight. Really a toss-up between Lemieux and Gretzky. I look back on my own score sheet here, and Messier, or at least Mario, has made plays, great plays, just has been unable to finish them off. He's put himself in position to score. His goals, of course, have been set up by Gretzky. No doubt about his greatness, though. Now, there's the Swedish bench, and Tommy Sandlin. Sandlin, there's the fellow without the glasses there, suffered a heart attack during the Izvestia Cup tournament back in December of last year while sitting in the lobby of a hotel. All right, he's back. He's been a professional coach in Sweden. He's coached 20 years there, 5 years with their national team. He's done a good job.
Here's Telvin for Sweden. A shot off of the blocker of Fjord. It skipped right through the goal crease. Now Patrick to Messier. 3-on-2 Canada break, but Telvin intercepts. And back comes Pettersson. Into Mikael Anderson. Good defensive play by Rochefort to break up a 2-on-1. Canada breaking out with Gartner. Leaving it for Anderson. Now Mikael Anderson for Eklund for Sweden. And it's fired back in and put up over the glass into the crowd. And we're down to 3:48 left in the third period.
Now 5-3. Canada wins this. They move into first place as James Patrick takes the short way over the boards. But they will just be a point ahead of the Soviet Union. So the Soviets will be ready for Canada in the next game. That action in front of the net. That seemed to catch the inner edge. Oh, it took the stick. That's why it went off. Took the blocker, then the stick. Went out the other side. So Fjord holding a 2-goal lead right now. Very nearly had that narrow to a little closer than he would have been comfortable with.
Here's Bergqvist diving to hold it in for Sweden. Trying to center it. Back of the goal goes Södergren, but he couldn't get it in front. Now it comes in front to Bergqvist. Side of the net to Carlson, but his pass behind everyone, and Gretzky picked it up. Gretzky leaving it for Coffey. This time they didn't fool Tommy Samuelsson. Samuelsson, number 7, back for Sweden. Flips it through for Södergren. Off the side of the net, and Sutter has it for Canada. Brent Sutter dumps it in. Goulet in after it. Naslund took him out. And coming up with it, number 22, Håkan Södergren. Into center ice to Carlson. Carlson knocked away by Crossman. Canada with a 5-3 lead. Sticking to defense right here. They dump it down the ice. And back is Eldebrink, number 2. Eldebrink out on right wing to Naslund. Checked by Tocchet. Now picking it up. Rupe. And Bourque does a good job on him. Crossman to Tocchet. Tocchet clears it into center. Drop hustling down. Now Lemieux trailing. Had the puck. Lost it. And Rupe comes back. Here's Tocchet. Trying to scoop it in front. Still after it. Rick Tocchet. Backhander in. Good kick save by Lindmark. Back comes Sweden. Naslund over to Gustafsson. Bumped off the puck by Bourque. Puck comes loose to Doug Crossman. And Canada just clear it into center ice with 1:50 left in the third period. Telvin flipping it in. Crossman is there. Over to Bourque. Now at center. Canada on the attack with Glenn Anderson. Telvin knocks it away. And going back is Bourque. Over to Crossman. Into center ice. And Canada's Gartner just flips it in. Telvin and Glenn Anderson back together. And Sweden clear it to center with Rochefort, number 5, there to play it. Now to James Patrick. Check but Gartner picks it up. Gartner with a booming shot. Lindmark made the save, didn't know where it was for a second, and then just felt it and then held it there.
Pretty good game for Mike Gartner, too. He's been able to let that big shot of his go a few times in this game. This is the best we can figure it out at this moment. Consider it as unofficial, but Wayne Gretzky on top of the scoring race with 8 points. Mario Lemieux with 7. Makarov and Stelnov and Kravchuk of the Soviet Union right behind them, and then Pat LaFontaine joins Tocchet and Naslund with 3 points. Peter Lindmark, who I think still there's a shot, and there's a rising shot. And again, you know, when you have that great speed, Dan, and then you get to lean into a shot like that, it's what they used to call when they referred to Bobby and Dennis Hull as a heavy shot. They're really tough to deal with, and not only that, they're painful to deal with.
Here's Messier on a face-off. Deep in Sweden's end of the rink against Gustafsson. 5-3, Canada leading. 1:11 left in the third period. Quick chance by Messier, quickly knocked away by Lindmark, and Naslund has it. Rink wide to Eldebrink. Misses distance in the pass. We're in the final minute of this game. Rochefort back for Canada. Canada leading 5-3. Here's Messier. Mark Messier. Couldn't get it in front. And Sweden trailing by 2. Eldebrink over to Rupe. And here's Magnus Rupe, ticketed for the Philadelphia Flyers. Lost it, back comes Patrick, but he just dumps it in. We're in the final 30 seconds of the third period. Sweden work it to Naslund at center. Naslund coming in. Into Carlson, cuts in, Fuhr a save. And Canada come right back with Hartsburg beating Goulet. Goulet put himself offside with 10 seconds left at Sweden's blue line, but a good chance moments ago by Sweden, and Fuhr came up big.
I think when they write this thing into the books, they're going to say that Team Canada played a rather loose first period, but then seemed to settle down and play some of their best defensive hockey of the tournament through the final 2 periods of this one. They scored 3 goals, but they scored their first 2 goals in the first 11 minutes and 26 seconds of the game.
Sweden with just 7 seconds left. Come to center. Rundqvist. Check. Janssen a drive and a stick save by Fuhr. Canada control. The buzzer's over. Or the buzzer sounds. The game is over, and Canada wins 5-3, and Team Canada remains undefeated.
Well, the shots on goal in the final period for Team Canada 14, and for Sweden 7. So Canada took back control of the game. And it was a good overall effort, Dan. I kind of like the progress that Team Canada is making. We shouldn't be surprised, because this has been the pattern through every Canada Cup, that Canada, of course, trying to get its act together basically and just get everything together as a team, and is slowly coming to form for them. There are the standings right now, and that, of course, paves the way for the game coming up Sunday night at the Copps Center in Hamilton, the Copps Coliseum, because the Soviet Union and Canada will be playing each other in the final game of the first portion of the tournament. So Canada with 7 points and still undefeated. The Soviet Union, of course, losing to Sweden earlier on in the tournament.
Canada's 2 goaltenders, Grant Fuhr, who's played in every game, and Ron Hextall from the Philadelphia Flyers, who tonight was his backup, and I think you summed it up when Mike Keenan told you today, you just can't change goaltenders the way Fuhr's been playing.
Oh, look at the 3 goals that were scored on him. The first one, Gustafsson was cold in front of the net. The second one, same sort of a play, and then the third one was a deflection. That's downstairs to the official ceremonies now.
Mesdames et messieurs, pour faire la présentation des joueurs Labatt du match de ce soir, to present the Labatt Player of the Game Awards for tonight's game. Tout d'abord, représentant la brasserie Labatt du Québec, a representative from the Labatt's Brewery, Quebec, Monsieur Jacques Lehoux. Il sera accompagné du gérant des ventes pour la compagnie de caméra Canon, the district manager for Canon Camera, M. Michel Nadeau. Le joueur Labatt du match de ce soir pour l'équipe de la Suède. Il recevra une caméra Canon EOS. The player of the game for Team Sweden, who will receive a Canon EOS camera, le gardien de but, the goaltender Peter Lindmark. Le joueur Labatt du match pour l'équipe Canada, the Labatt player of the game for Team Canada. Il recevra un ensemble complet de 10 pièces de monnaie olympique pour les Olympiques de 1988. He will receive the complete set of 10 1988 Olympic Winter Game coins, courtesy of Canadian Tire. Wayne Gretzky. Mesdames et messieurs, nous vous remercions d'être venus au forum ce soir. On vous donne rendez-vous mercredi, le 9 septembre prochain à 8h, alors que sera disputée la semi-finale.
Canada remains undefeated. They defeat Sweden 5-3 here at the Forum in Montreal tonight. Our Toyota scoring summary of the third period brought to you by Toyota, makers of the roomy family Camry. Who could ask for anything more? Mikhail Anderson tied the game at 2:12 of the third period. Mario Lemieux scored what proved to be the game winner on a great setup by Gretzky at 5:40, and Goulet set up by Gretzky at 11:20 put it away for Canada. Final shots on goal. Canada on the night had 32. Sweden had 22. And Canada wins the game 5-3. Let's go right here to Dan Matheson.